from Studio A in Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome in, everyone, to the Grandpa and Pappy Show as we start another day off with you here on a Wednesday version.
By God.
And hope everyone is doing well.
Yeah.
And that you're keeping up with all the crazy happenings going on in our great country.
By the way, in case you forgot, it's Wednesday and OU still sucks.
It does. As a matter of fact, yeah, the time is the same.
Yeah. It's all in timing.
It's all in the timing.
Yeah, welcome aboard, everybody.
We had a great question that was posed about your concerns about the election and whether it was going to be fair. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit this morning.
Yeah.
And as usual, Pappy, our viewers came up with lots of good comments.
They're always stepping up for us. You guys rock, by the way.
Some of the things going on in our great country right now. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, has asked the Justice Department to look into the Hunter Biden computer hard drive to see if there was any collusion there or anything that broke the law. And they are doing it. Now the FBI has stepped up after all these months of not doing anything, and they are looking into it also. So it wouldn't surprise to hear a big bombshell going off, Pappy, here in the next week or so.
And I read a report, of course, it's one of those internet deals, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It might not be true. About the Chinese had a copy of their hard drive.
Yeah.
And reportedly sent it to the White House.
Well, I know the guy, in case you're not familiar, there's a gentleman up in Washington that Hunter Biden took his computer into, supposedly to get it fixed, and he never picked it up.
He picked
and
it
he
up.
never paid for it, never picked it up. So the guy looked at it and saw all the stuff that was on there, and so he called a Democratic committee and also a conservative committee member about what he had on this computer, and then he called the FBI. None of those three took any action.
Well, this will probably be another case of suicide.
Well, it could be. But no one took action, so he sent a copy of it to Rudy Giuliani, and Giuliani's foundation is jumping all over it. And I did also hear that, what you said, Pappy, that a copy now has been sent to the White House for studying, which prompted the president to say there's enough on there that an investigation is indeed warranted. So
I'm sure there's more than enough. It'd be a matter of pass the popcorn, please.
Yeah. We will keep a real close eye on that.
Yeah.
And let's see, today is Wednesday, so the Cowboys didn't lose a game last night, and that's a good thing.
Because they didn't play.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can't lose if you don't play.
That's a fact.
But anyway, in the world of sports, it seems like the colleges, Big Ten, is starting play this week, or this weekend, I should say. So we'll see the polls all
Who won game
scrambled
one
up.
of the World Series?
That would be the L.A. Dodgers, 8-3.
8-3.
Last night.
Ooh.
And they're playing it, of course, out at the new Texas Rangers baseball
Beautiful
facility.
Fort Worth, Texas, by God.
And, well, actually, it's in Arlington.
Arlington.
But, yeah.
Well, we'll take it in.
We'll take it, yeah.
It was our idea to build it. What the hell? Oh, Firefighter Tom got him some good seats.
Yes, he did.
He's working out there
Our
as a
good
paramedic.
friend that is a paramedic
Yep.
is working the World Series out there. They are allowing
Lucky dog.
about 3,000 fans in to watch the game. So those 3,000 fans have their own paramedics now out there.
They've even got a cardboard paramedic to take care of all the cardboard.
Yeah,
things.
another one got hit last night, from what I hear.
You reckon he'll die of the COVID too?
That's a great question. I don't know. But today we're talking about your concern about the election, if it's going to be fair or not fair, and what you our viewers thought of, because that's what this program is all about, Grandpa and Pappy.
Yep.
We make a show based on what your opinions are, and we read them, good or bad.
Comments, opinions,
whether we agree
complaints.
or disagree, Pappy. We read them all.
That's right.
Well, let's take a look at it. Charlie George says, honestly, it is in the counting of the votes and the legality of those votes.
Well said. Short and sweet right there. Mark Smiley said he's concerned on how legal all of this will be and wondering about the stupidity of the American people.
Thank you.
Here you have a candidate who used his influence while in office to secure his son preferable positions with a foreign company and getting millions for him. No one seems concerned that he was doing a quid pro quo like the Dems accused Trump of. Why is no one concerned? It's baffling to me.
And that's what we've been talking about, actually.
It's been snuffed in the
You
media.
know, what's
So
good?
it is.
What's the old saying, Pappy? What's good for the goose?
Good
for the gander.
That's right.
Yeah. You do it on one side, you better do it on the other.
Better kick it off with the other.
Belinda Tatum said, what concerns her is the Democrats. Casey Palmore said to him, it is the mail-in fraud. And Tracy Harrington agreed, saying, it is that the mail-in voting will be tampered with and Biden winning.
Well, that's a nightmare.
I was
I've
listening
had.
this morning before you got here, Pappy, to do the show. I was listening to an interview that Fox's Sean Hannity did with the only pollster in the last election that accurately picked the winner.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He was the only pollster that said Trump would win in a landslide, which he did.
Wow.
And he says he expects the same thing to happen on November 3rd. It's just that the polls are slanted right now because the Trump supporters are getting so much hassle from liberals and Democrats that they won't tell anybody who they're voting for, and they won't participate in the polls for fear of reprisal.
Really?
And what he was saying made absolute sense. He said Trump has all the ground root support that he'll need to get reelected, but nobody can accurately say if he will or not because his supporters are not talking. And that brings me back to a story.
If he loses, they'll be talking.
It brings me back to a story that all of our good friends, Sherry, was telling us about a program she was listening to, and I believe it was Sean Hannity on Fox Radio, and he talked to two straight Trump supporters in a row, and the question was, have you participated in any of the polls? And their answer, both of them, back to back, said, yeah, I participated in the polls and told them I was voting for Biden. And Hannity said, I thought you said you were a Trump supporter. She says, I am.
Just wanted to see,
But they
make
don't
sure
know
that I
that.
made it home safely.
They don't know that.
That's crazy.
That's great.
Ken Mason said he will be concerned when the American people reelect President Trump in a landslide, but the Democrats will not accept the outcome.
Well, that is cause for
they won't.
concern. And that's basically what you were saying just a few minutes ago, Patty. Rachel Evans says her concern remains the purity of Election Day, where people are able to cast their vote the way they want without fear of reprisal from some idiot group. It seems that the days are gone where Americans can make their voices heard as in the past, then accepting the outcome once and for all.
It's going to take some time.
Well,
on
that
either
says a
side.
lot when the Democrats are still trying to overturn 2016. You know, God Almighty, what you got to just
They're
say?
still pissed off about that, aren't
Enough
they?
is enough. Yeah, Hillary, you still belong in prison. I mean, come on.
Don Carney said for him, it is if Biden wins, then gets replaced by Harris, who then is impeached and Pelosi takes over.
Oh, geez, that gives me a shudder.
Jesus Christ. And Cassie Terry agreed, saying, oh, my God, you talk about a nightmare. She also has concerns if Biden does win.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got to live with Jordan, so
Good Lord of mercy.
he will not be happy.
Yeah, Cassie also asked, So I've been wondering, have all the elections been this stressful? My husband and I were talking about this. Did our parents and grandparents stress out about each election like this one?
Yeah.
I feel like this election is a huge turning point. Have all the elections been like this?
You know, and that's interesting.
That's a great question,
interesting,
actually.
Cass. I mean, I don't recall them being
Here's
like
to you,
that
Cass.
back in my time, but hell, I didn't vote. Mom and Dad did, but that was back when Democrats were for the working people. I mean, do they lie? Do they cheat? Yeah. I mean, even as far back as JFK.
Yeah.
You know, but everybody seemed to think that was okay.
Well, I keep telling the story about my dad who died in the wool Democrat. His whole family, I mean, blue blood Democrats from the word go.
Yep.
And the election before he passed away, he voted Republican. And he said, I had to go with the guy that I thought would get some things done because I'm tired of being lied to.
Well, they all lie.
Well, yeah.
Like a
But
bitch
you know,
dog
some of
in heat,
these,
they lie,
some of these, and Republicans too. I mean, I'm not just
all
picking
do.
on the Democrats. I'm picking on Republicans too. There are some die-in-the-wool supporters. You're either a Democrat or a Republican.
Yeah.
That man, they take things to the extreme.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
And that's both sides.
Yeah,
well,
and that's what I'm saying.
In all
But
fairness.
my dad, he just he looked at it and he just said, you know, I had to pick the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
And he said, he said, my daddy will turn around in his grave voting Republican.
Well, and Pops was the same thing as your dad. He was a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, staunch Democrat.
Well, I voted I voted Democrat
I
until I was in my
I guarantee
late
you he'd be
20s.
voting Republican because Pop never voted for the man. He voted for what the man stood for.
Yeah.
His platform and what it meant to America.
right,
Which
is smart.
all of you need to vote that way. I mean, just because you don't like Trump's hair and he's a horse's ass, I don't like him either. But
He gets
I
things
like
done.
his platform. That's right. He don't play around.
No, he doesn't.
The divine one, Helen Johnson, the love of my life, answered that by saying, I have never seen anything like this, and I'm 76. It's so sad. Cece McCoy agreed, saying, no, they haven't, and I'm 66, and I've never seen this before. Well, I'm right there with you. I'm 68, and I ain't never seen nothing like this before.
Well, I just turned 69.
That's right.
So, no, I haven't seen anything like this. I think it all comes down to what the pundits are saying.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got to vote Republican in this election to keep our country free and away from socialism and communism. So,
Well,
it just depends on how you look at it.
vote for what you feel in your heart is best for you and your family
Ain't that
and the
the
rest
truth?
of the country. So
Isn't that
that's
the truth?
fair enough.
Paula Mason told us that the problem seems to be radical groups trying to frighten people into believing what they believe. I'm a registered Democrat, but I have voted the other way in this election. Why? Because I believe the Democratic Party has gone off the deep end and is threatening to end the American way of life, which we all love so dearly. Yes, there are concerns about this election that really scare me. I believe the only way to get us back on track is to vote the old regime out and get some fresh blood in Washington.
Well, what guarantee do we have that it's not going to continue with fresh blood? I mean, they'll tell you.
Yeah, that's
any
that
damn thing you want to hear, you know.
that
till they
is
get
the
in there.
big if, Pappy, and you are absolutely correct. Now, the ones that are the quote-unquote fresh bloods, we need to know who they are and what they stand for.
Well, they're pretty much the descendants of the old blood that's been in there for 40 years, you know. I mean, what the hell?
In some cases, I agree with that.
Absolutely. Bob Baker says what concerns him is that no matter who wins, we lose, and the war is on, to which Eric Hudson agreed, saying exactly my feelings.
How you feel there, Doctor?
Yeah. Dr. Hudson.
That is our moniker for Eric Hudson.
He is the aficionado of cold and tasty beverages.
Ain't he also.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
he
went.
is.
I stopped by the field office yesterday and visited with him. The divine one and I did.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Out for a Republican outcome and a safe and true voting in the election.
Yeah.
Well, we can all pray for that, Alice. We really can. I just hope it turns out that way. I really, really do.
There's no telling.
Holy
Joy Thabeau said, "My husband is so stressed out about worrying that Biden will win and what changes may happen that his blood pressure is often too high. I wouldn't let it take me that far, I don't think. I told him he needs to stop worrying about something that may not happen."
Yeah. And that's true. I mean, of course, I think we're all guilty of that.
He's just
we're all worried about
Joy,
it.
he's concerned about the outcome for family and his love for the country.
That's exactly correct.
That I respect.
Absolutely.
But, worry about it when it happens. I
And
guess.
there's a lot of people that feel exactly the way that Joy's husband feels. And that's just the way it is.
Well, and if you're basing the outcome of this election from Bible prophecy, you probably have something to worry about.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's what scares me.
Yeah. Yep.
So all of you Christians out there, I'm asking you to get up off your couch. I don't care how old you are.
That's right.
You need to vote because there was about 12 to 14 million of you that stayed at home last election.
That's true.
Let's see. Darla Walker says what concerns her is the liberal revolt worse than it is now, having to stay more isolated, or Lord forbid, have to use my gun.
Darla got her a pew pew here a while back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, did you ever call our buddy? You know who I'm talking about, and get into that LTC class? You get out of a hell of a lot more trouble if you're licensed than you would just to shoot somebody.
Well, before we do the next one, Karen, be thinking about what your opinion is on this. I'm kind of interested to hear what your take will be on it, and we'll get to you here in just a second.
I can hear the cogwheels turning over there.
On election?
Yeah.
She still can't get over the fly on
On the vice
Pence's
president's
head.
head, yeah.
I'm still wondering about
I
that
can't
too.
either.
And the lady I was telling you about, Gail, what's her name, the talk show host, said it was a fly of color.
A fly of color.
Well, I've never seen an albino fly in my life. Charles Ely said, "I'm concerned for this country. I see more and more young people wanting to switch from democracy to socialism, and it's just too scary to fathom. Hell, kids today don't even know where the condiments for their burgers come from." Ain't it so? They just believe they are there. Don't they know that under socialism that the farmers who work so very hard every day will probably go away? Then there will be... where will their burgers and fixings come from? The idiocy being shown by the younger generation is truly concerning to millions of Americans who love their freedom and their country.
That's a great
That
post.
is well said, Charles.
Charles, that's great.
Don't even...
I love that. Charles, good
Daddy,
job.
where does maters come from?
Well, I don't know, but be sure to order them, okay? I mean,
That's right.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And finally, rounding it out, Randy Northcutt of Emory, Texas, kind of wrote a novel. And I'm going to read it since he posted it.
Randy's a deep thinker.
Yeah, he had a lengthy post about the election. He said, "I hope all of you Biden supporters out there fully understand what it is you're supporting. I understand that President Trump isn't the most prim and proper guy out there, but he's not a politician, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
He doesn't have 50 years of political experience, but what you need to understand about the Biden campaign is they are literally wanting to rewrite the Constitution of the United States.
They got a good start at it.
Yeah, they want to rewrite history, they want to take your guns away, and they want to open the borders, which would allow the drug cartels and MS-13 members to flood this country. They're wanting to destroy the oil and gas industry, they are against Christianity, and they support partial birth abortion.
Yep.
They support defunding the police, which means no one will be there whenever you call 911 for help for your loved ones or yourself. So don't vote for Biden just because you don't like Trump. vote for Trump because you want to save this land from sheer destruction.
Profoundly said, Randy.
Boom.
Booyah.
Way to go, cuz.
That deserves to be read again, I think.
What's your opinion on this whole thing, Karen?
Well, so to me, it's not really about Biden or it's not about Trump. It's really about socialism versus democracy, and the Democrats wanting to change the very fabric that our country was founded on. The very
Good point.
Footprint.
Good point.
And to me, these young kids are being taught socialism in their schooling, even in high school.
Yeah.
It's not just the colleges. It's high school as well. They start them out and they're doing propaganda inside the schools. So to me, it's about socialism and freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, in a nutshell.
That's the bottom line.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not really about Biden or Trump.
No, I
It's
don't
about
like either one of them,
exactly
but it's about the how our country be ran, just like you said. I mean,
Exactly.
why change it? It's not
Bingo.
broke.
Bingo.
Most successful country in the world, and
Wow.
they're wanting to change it.
Good Lord. I don't know. It's man. It's so difficult to really separate fact from fiction
Yeah.
on what's going on
We don't know
because
who to
of
trust
the
anymore.
well,
you
yeah,
know?
because of the media twisting things to their liking.
Yep.
So really, where do you turn, Pappy, to get accurate information?
Well, I mean, not voting is not going to achieve anything. I mean, I went. Jesus Christ!
You told me about a network, OAN,
OAN News
Yeah.
Network. Yeah.
and what is the one you've started looking at, Karen?
Newsmax.
Newsmax.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only two that I've seen.
I
And,
hadn't-
and
I'm not
my old
familiar with
standby, Fox, that used to just tell it like it is,
I don't trust Fox.
they're swinging a little bit to the left now since they've had a change in upper management.
Yeah.
They got bought out
yeah.
by Disney.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, where do you go to get accurate information? My goodness.
It's crazy.
But the election is coming up, folks, and you guys, all of your voice matters.
Yep.
You got to get out and vote.
Yep.
Can't say that enough.
Well, it's just like I was trying to say. I went years without voting because I'd had enough of it.
Yeah.
The only time I voted, last time I voted, was for Richard Nixon. Like I've told you.
I am not a crook.
And that told me I had no business whatsoever voting. But I'm so impacted by what the hell I see. I broke down and registered to vote, by God.
There you go.
And I will. Probably today.
We had an interesting question that was posed by one of our viewers, Joe Williams. He said, do you ever think you would be alive to witness an attempted socialistic, communistic takeover of the United States? Which the
That's a strong question.
left is trying to perpetrate on all of us.
Yep.
Well, let's see. We had some opinions from you guys. Crawford Young said, I'm going to say no. But over the years, I've seen a breakdown not only in our top-tier government, but also in the culture and leadership in the workplace. I don't see the value system that I grew up learning, so while I didn't expect to see it, I'm not too shocked either. The problem is people don't believe what you have to say in regards to these matters until it's too late, or maybe they believe you, but they feel powerless. It has to start at the top.
Yep.
We don't reward those who exceed expectations anymore. We just give participation trophies.
Yeah.
This stifles people from being their best. It is very socialistic, in my opinion.
Well put, Crawdaddy.
Wow.
He's starting to scare me.
Man, no kidding.
Lindsey Rogers Hardy said, nope, not ever. It's so scary to think of that being a reality. I agree with you, Lindsey.
That's very true. Al Davis said, do you remember in the 1950s when the government questioned Lucy
Oh, Lucy.
because of her being married to a Cuban? Alice Harvey said, no way would she have ever thought of it being possible to see all of this going on.
That's true. That's true.
Good Lord of mercy.
And last but not least, Jimmy Don Rich said, I could never envision it, but with the education crap being drilled into our kids' heads in the schools and universities, I guess it was inevitable. If you hear it enough and it's pounded into your head enough, it is reasonable to think you will eventually believe it. Maybe we need to start monitoring these institutes of higher learning and make sure democracy is taught. It's a brainwashing technique, you know.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're raising kids, putting that crap in their head, you know.
Well, that was oh man, I'm trying to think. There was a parent that reacted to a letter that was brought home by her child from her elementary school that said that they would start teaching the Quran to them, and she raised all kinds of heck and got arrested.
Well, and you stop and think about it. If they open the borders and allow people to flood in, a third of the world's population is Muslim.
Yeah.
And they have a big presence over here already.
Yeah,
so,
they do.
What's to stop it from happening, you know?
It is scary. So, Joe, there you go. There's some opinions based on your question. Thank you very much for that, incidentally.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of the viewer comments that you guys put in for us. Judith Morris said on YouTube that she has enjoyed watching our shows and is slowly catching up on them. Keep up the good work, guys. You're a pleasure to watch. And Judith, thank you very much.
Yes, yeah. We love having you along.
We appreciate that.
Roger Whitaker said, I enjoyed your show on pet peeves.
I did too.
Mine is to see another person's kid throwing temper tantrums in public places. Makes me want to go over there and tear that little ass up. Parents should know better, but these days, who knows?
Roger, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
How many times you been in a grocery store and kids just going nuts?
I was just fixing to bring something very similar. I was in Foley's.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Foley's?
Yeah.
Department store?
Yeah.
In Houston quite a few years back. And this kid was running through, yanking clothes off the rack, screaming. His mom just ignored him. Well, he made a mistake of running by me after standing there watching about 5 minutes, and I didn't know what come over me. I just grabbed my arm and popped him on the ass. Ooh. The fight was almost on.
Yeah, here we go.
Tear that little ass up.
Judy Salem saw our video on Judge Chris Wood and said, "This is the greatest. A real Stevie Ray Vaughan vibe. It teaches my soul, and I wish this music would never stop. It's so cool. So very, very cool." So, Chris,
Yeah,
you got a new fan out there.
that's right. I've been a fan of his music for
yeah.
years. That boy can
That's
play.
why we leave it on our Facebook page.
That's
That's
right.
some jamming there, boy.
That boy can play.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of like old Bulldog. I'd like to see them get together and slap a little blues upside my
him
head.
and Brian Emerton and
Ooh,
Marshall Williams. Good Lord of mercy.
Don't know if I can handle it or not. Marion White said, I just watched your show on marijuana and stuff. I'm 52 and never smoked it, but curiosity is killing me to see what all the hoopla is about. If I decide to try it, I'll let you know how it went. But don't hold your breath, haha. Well, if you want to know about it, try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
Well, what can you say? What can you say? It's been a lot of fun today.
We're hungry.
We appreciate everybody taking time to
We sure do.
write in your opinions to the questions that we talked about today.
Yep.
And as we always tell you, there's easy ways for you to do that. You can either go on our Facebook page,
Couple of three of them,
where the Grandpa and Pappy Facebook group page,
Yeah.
where you can see a lot of these questions being asked, and you can actually see what the opinions are of a lot of people before it ever hits the air.
That's right.
Or you can go on to our Gmail account with an observation or a suggestion for a show. You can go to Grandpa and Pappy at gmail.com.
Absolutely.
Or
you can hit us up directly on our show webpage at www.grandpa, that's grandpaandpappy.com. While you're there, you can hit that big red button and
it's amazing.
produce a little old password that only you'll know and subscribe. We'd love having you aboard.
Yeah.
You know, we're on Instagram and Candy Cam and wait, that's another deal. Never mind. On Instagram and
That's it.
What, Twitter? We have Twitter. We have Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter.
We have Twitter.
Yes.
Have
Twitter and Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of ways you can do that.
And website,
folks.
what
Yeah.
she said. But that's all accessible from our page. And you can see the latest show upload while you're there. Or do like we do. Watch it on the big screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we hope everybody has a great day, and we got a best of coming up on Friday, so we hope you'll join us for that.
Yep.
Until then, we want to tell you to hug your kids and let them know you love them.
Continue telling them that we love them right here at Grandpa and Pappy Show as well, by God.
We sure do. So take care of each other, everybody.
By all means.
Till we see you again, God bless, have fun, take care of each other, and we'll see you then.
Later.
Bye-bye.